Hey guys, it's Katie Taylor at scrappinkaty.com, where I show you how to preserve your family's memories through the art of scrapbooking. Today's video is a Days of December video collab with the Creative Design team. So here is my Days of December album, as well as the sketchbook that I used, and then here's a look at our brand new sketchbook. I'll go over that in more detail here in just a little while. But if you recall, I do have a few videos on a few of the pages, as well as my cover for this. I usually like to decorate the cover. So it is just one of our everyday life albums. And of course I have a Cricut cut and then our wooden letters. And then this kind of shows you the theme on the inside, which is going to be red, black plaid in some places. And then I'm even incorporating some leopard. And I have a video on how I hand stamped some of that. And then I created this little charm, I guess, for the spine. And I believe I have a video on that as well. Any of the sub videos that I have, I'll link those down below. So I have this cute little Christmas tree made of buttons, and then I have some old time shrinky dinks. My daughter and I did these, and that was super fun. So I just wanted to point out a couple of things, kind of give you some tips and tricks. Again, this is our 6x8 sketchbook from last year. And even though we've titled that Days of December, you can use it for whatever purpose you want. But I wanted to show you what helped me, and I'm planning on doing that again this year. Is once all my photos were done, I don't usually do my Days of December as the days go by. I wait till the end of December and then print all my photos. And by doing that, I'm able to say, you know, like the 10th had spaces, had photos that would fit these 3x4, so on and so forth. And so I've just gone through here and I've marked the sketches that I want with the days that I'm going to use, and that helped a lot. So let's get into the book. Now it is thick. You can see here, and I actually, not all the pages are in here because I actually ran out of 6x8 memory protectors. So for this video, I'm only going to walk you through half of the book, and then once I get those other memory protectors in, I plan on doing another kind of part 2 walkthrough of the book, so you'll have something to look forward to. So again, this is the cover, and you open it up, and I have created this kind of title page, if you will. And I used our acrylic letters and then the stickers that come with a Christmas story. And predominantly this whole album is Christmas Story, which sold out really fast last year. And then I also have some of the mix-ins from last year's October, November, December catalog, just to kind of make that paper last a little bit longer. But this is a pocket. And so I'm actually going to type up a little summary, maybe even handwrite it. You'll see my handwriting throughout this book. I'm going to type up just a little summary of December and slip it in there. And then here is my story of our Christmas tree. Now in 2022, a lot of things were happening, and I just refused to put my Christmas tree up. So I printed this photo, and I actually, in PicMonkey, I actually did my journaling on the photo. And so when I had it printed, it actually printed that on the photo. And I really, really like that. Again, I didn't have to write, type, whatever, and my story was told about our Christmas tree that stayed up all year round. And then also something fun for this book is I did week dividers. Let me see if I can take this apart, kind of show you up close. Trying not to squish my fingers. Okay, there we go. So I did week dividers, and they are on acetate. And I used various colors of our glitter paper. So this is pine. I also used gold, scarlet, and silver. And then the week was used black glitter paper. So I love that look. And then I love, as I'm coming to that next week, you can see through it. Now I did go ahead and I cut the same number out of some of the pattern paper. Now this was the mix-ins, I believe. And that way it just backs that glue and you can't see it. I did use my tear tape, which is really strong tape. You could also use red line tape, just something that's going to adhere this to this acetate really well, because remember, you're going to be flipping these. So I really love that addition to this Days of December. And then we can get into day one. So here is day one, and I believe there's a process video for this one, so you'll see that. I'll leave that linked down below if you haven't already seen it. So this actually sets the tone for all of my Days of December. You can do whatever you want, but I usually like to have a theme throughout all the pages. Now the thing about Days of December is they're not necessarily 2-page spreads. But if you pick something that kind of sets the tone, and you've probably heard this all week from the rest of the creative design team members, if you pick something that sets the tone for the album, then it makes the album really cohesive. And so even though you're doing one day at a time that has nothing to do, you'll even see basketball photos in here, has nothing to do with the facing layout. If it has elements that are similar, or that are the same, that are carried out through those layouts, then it makes it look really cohesive. So right here, setting the tone, I've got some stencils, I've got more of that glitter paper, and then really what it comes down to is my numbering. So I have decided to back all of my days with pine cardstock, and then on top of that is a white cardstock with a pin around it. And I have a process video on this as well, and I used my Cricut to do all of that. The pin around the edge as well as the cutting of the circles. And then I decided to use our acrylic numbers. Now I'll explain here in just a little bit when I go through the days, but that ended up kind of not working in my favor because I have run out. So I kind of had to get I had to think of ways to get that done throughout the album. So there is our first day. Here is our second, and this is also in a process video. And then here is the third. So again, you're seeing that day 2 and day 3 have nothing to do with each other, but because they have like these little scalloped borders with the doodling, and because they have the numbers that are similar, and then I even used this zip strip and I carried that across, and so it makes that look like a 2-page layout. Here is day 4 and day 5, and the similar elements on this are again the stenciling. And then I decided to bring in some ribbon. Now the thing about day 5 is I journaled on this little pull out. The thing about our 6x8 memory protectors is they are not top loading. And Erin addressed this as well. Something that I had forgotten when I was making these layouts is that our 6x8 are side load. So you load all your pages from the side. So all I had to do was kind of measure when I pull this out. And then I just cut my memory protector on the top. Pull that out and show you. So can you see how it's just cut right there? So it's cut ever so slightly, but it's going to allow that journaling to be pulled in and out. And then here is 6 and 7, and here is what I was talking about, the basketball layouts. Now I did decide to make these photos black and white. They are the only black and white photos throughout the book. I may try to redo a page or something and throw another one in there. But chances are it's going to be in that volume too, so it wouldn't matter anyway. But the school colors just did not match. For the most part in here, I didn't care. You know, she's got blue on, I've got gray. For the most part, I didn't care about the matching, but our school colors just really clashed. So I made those black and white, and I loved documenting that because basketball is always a staple in December. And so I'm just always so happy to include that in my Days of December albums. And then here is day 7. Now, one thing you will notice is that I have my handwriting in here. Some of the layouts you'll see on our journaling strip stickers. I love these things because you get multiple sheets and they're 12 inches long. Again, like I said, they're self-adhesive, so they're already sticky. And they also come in 3/8 of an inch and then a 1/4 inch. So you'll see me using both sizes in here. I really am more comfortable with the 3/8 because I write really big, but on such a small layout as a 6x8, I just couldn't afford to do that, especially with my longer stories. So I used the 1/4 inch. Also, you'll see here all of these cuts. And what that is I love to put it in my paper trimmer. And let's say that I know that I want those 2.5 inches. So I just line up 2.5 inches on my paper trimmer and I just cut down. So I wanted to use 4 lines here. So I just cut down 4 lines, and then that way I know where to start my journaling and stop it and then bring it to another line, so on and so forth. But I've explained in one of the other process videos why I include my journaling, my handwriting in my journaling. And it's just something that I probably continue to do, especially in this type of project. Now on my 12x12s, I kind of type here and there, but for the most part, I try to include my handwriting. So you'll see it on journaling stickers, and then you'll also see it just on the actual page or layout itself. So here's a look at day 8, and this is the beginning of week 2. So you can see here, this is the black cardstock, and I still have week, but instead of going over the number like I had on 1, I decided to just go down that acetate sheet. And then another thing I wanted to point out is, if you didn't notice, is up until day 8, I was using black acrylic letters. And then I switched to wooden. And that again is because I kind of ran out of black numbers. So you'll see me use several colors here just to kind of prolong that and make them last longer. But here is day 8, and I just printed these aren't 2x2s, 1 3/4 inch square photos and included them on a 4x6. So this sketch actually called for a 4x6. I don't think this is the sketch I used, but this calls for a 4x6. But anytime it does, you can definitely chop up your photos and use what's best for you. I knew that on this day I wanted to include multiple photos, and so in order to do that, I needed to make them small. So this is the first pocket page that you come to, and this is day 9. And I love this. This was a new little thing that we started in 2022. I'm hoping she wants to do it again this year. But I just loved those. And of course, the pocket pages. So you just basically make little 3x4 cards, and then they insert into here. And then you have to remember that your day that's going to be behind that also needs to be the 3x4. Now, I know that a couple of girls have already done kind of faux pockets, and that's what happened on day 6. So this was the front, day 5, which was a full 6x8. But on this one, I wanted to use one of the sketches that was not a full 6x8. So I actually used one of the pocket page sketches and then just made it look like those are pocket pages. So there is day 10. here is day 11. Now, one thing you'll notice here is 10 does not have the TH, the ST, the RD, anything like that, like all these single digit dates do. 10 does not. I was able to fit it on 11, but 11 is the last time you'll see that. And then here is a look at day 12. And we're getting into the days that I'm actually going to let my daughter do the journaling. These 2 days predominantly were her thing. And she loved this year reliving these memories. I have a photo of her looking through them. I'll add over this video. And I just love that she loves to relive them. And so I thought it would be fun. She's kind of at the age where she can write her own stuff and do her own thing. And I thought it would be fun to include her perspective in this album. So for day 13, I actually included a flip flap. And I love this because this flip flap has 2 of the 3x4 PML cards, which is like pocket scrapbooking. And these are actually still available and I love them. I've used them several times. I've either cut them up or used them whole like here. But this is the Christmas program, and so I love this one that said fa la 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 la, because, you know, singing. And then I'm going to let her journal right here about her friend that she was with. And, you know, she kind of had to ask me, what are we doing here? So I'm going to let her rewatch the videos, and then that will spark her memory, and she can add her own little touch right over there. And then we have come to day 14, and I am going to stop here, but I wanted to point out day 14. And I used Christmas, which is a new thin cut. I'll leave that linked down below. Well, I can't leave it linked down below. It's actually not available until November 1st, but keep your eye out for that. And then I just used some old stickers of Close to My Hearts when we had the My Crush albums. And I used that to spell out party. And then I just documented our office party and how much fun we have when we go to that. Now, instead of day 15, because believe it or not, we just didn't do anything on day 15. I tried to find photos and I just couldn't. So what I did this year was I took a photo of all my Christmas shirts that I wore. So let me take this out. So I took a photo of all the Christmas shirts I wore this year. And you can see some of them are true selfies and then some of them aren't. Some of them are just of the shirt. And I thought that that would be fun, you know, because I didn't have any photos from day 15, but this is definitely a Days of December memory. So I just printed those. I opened a collage in PicMonkey and I just inserted all of these photos of me and my t-shirts. And then I just had that printed on a 5x7. And then I just matted it. Super simple. There's nothing else on this layout. No pattern paper, no stamps, no embellishments. But just because of all of the grid of the photos and then just simple mats, it makes it look really good, especially kind of right across from this busy layout. So that is all I'm going to walk you through today. I'm going to kind of flip here, but you can see I just don't have memory protectors to put these in. So I thought it would be fun to wait for those to come in, and then I can do a second walkthrough of that second half and kind of go through some other things. I'm also hoping that I find more numbers. I think that my daughter has come up with an idea on how I can make everything stretch, but we're going to have to really do some thinking on that. So that is it for my Days of December 2022. And remember that this was actually from the Days of December sketchbook, but we have our brand new sketchbook. So you can use that on this year's Days of December, which is what I'm planning on doing. Or you could also take these sketches and you could enlarge them to either 12 by 12, 8.5 by 11, or even card sizes if you are a card maker. So thank you so much for stopping by and watching. Remember to click those links below to watch the other process videos from my days of December, as well as the CDT playlist. If you have any questions, let me know. And as always, thank you so much for stopping by.